All right, so welcome to my kitchen, Bri and I's kitchen. So it's Sunday. We got a guest in town. Y'all might know him as Johnny fucking G. Okay, sorry about the language, but that's how we are. Johnny's my partner, Primal Warrior. He's in town from Virginia, so when he comes in town, obviously we still gotta eat. He's on prep right now. He's doing a show at the end of April. So his prep's just as important as mine is, being 3 weeks out right now. So this is what the kitchen looks like on a typical Sunday. We got air fryer for asparagus. We have rice cooker right now cooking about 8 chicken breasts, which I'll shred up a little bit later. After we take those out, we'll probably cook some more rice up. What else do you have on your plan, John?
So we already did the salmon. Prep sucks if you don't know how to cook. Might need to get in the kitchen and learn something. I only have 2 meals with rice. So we got one for each day. Some peas and carrots and some asparagus. 2.5 days worth to keep me on the move.
So the thing is, people overcomplicate food prep, make it the most difficult thing, especially when trying to stick to a meal plan. It's like, oh, I gotta prep food. Horse shit. It's the easiest thing in the world. Get a rice cooker, throw your chicken in it, throw your rice in it, get an air fryer, throw your veggies in it. It's simple. And you can also overcomplicate your meal prep too. Overcomplicate your meal plan just by throwing a lot of different variables in there. Find out what works for you, get with your coach, lay out the plan, stick to the plan, adjust the variables, and keep it easy. You know, a lot of people overthink food when it comes to prep. That's just part of it, it's what we do. Anything else to add?
Walden Farms is your best friend.
Yes, so prep hacks, okay? 0 calorie, Walden Farms, 0 calorie syrup. It'll save your day. Also, mustard. I'm a huge advocate of mustard. So
Squirts.
I have, you see, spicy brown, Dijon, both from HEB, local grocery store, all 0 calorie. Make food tasty.
That's about it. We're gonna get moving. We've got a couple things planned for the rest of the evening. There's a bit of an episode coming your way, a little bit of an interview, maybe some funny shit along the way, maybe a good workout later. Stay tuned.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 2 of The Journey. This is gonna be actually a pretty special, in-depth episode just because I'm bringing my rock, my best friend, my love of my life, into this picture to kind of share this journey with me and with you guys. So if you've ever gone through a prep before, or you've heard how prep is, you may have heard that it's a little bit stressful, can be very stressful on a relationship. I've gone through 5 preps now, I guess, and each one of them has been a little bit different. They can be very stressful on a relationship, especially if there's sacrifices involved, lack of sleep, there's hunger, there's irritability. There's a lot of shit that happens that, you need a solid partner in your life to help you get through that shit. And kind of, for me personally, it was, I needed somebody to show me what I wasn't seeing. A lot of times it was, hey, you're being a certain way. Let me bring some awareness to how you're impacting our relationship. That open transparency and that honest communication. So I talked about this in episode 1. My partner, Bri, is doing her first show the same weekend I am. So we are actually prepping together. So she has kind of taken herself out of the role as my rock and my support system, and now we have kind of stepped into a collaborative effort to support each other and do this prep together, which hasn't always been rainbows and unicorns and whatever. There's been trials, there's been tribulations, there's been ups, there's been downs, and hell, earlier today we got into a little tiff. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but we worked through it, and that's the beauty of having a strong relationship. Especially if you're gonna go through prep, you're gonna sacrifice. You're gonna have family that wants you to come over and do all this crap with them. Prep takes sacrifice. Prep takes it takes saying no to a lot of things that you would normally say yes to, foods, outings, sleep, just a lot of things. So I want to introduce you guys to my fiance, Bri Ramsey, who became my fiance actually at Muscle Beach, which is John Sherman's other show that we did in October. So it would only make sense for us to go and do John's other show in April. So I decided to do this show as a warm-up to nationals, and also to go through this prep with her, because her being her first show, I want to have that experience with her. So I'm super proud of her. She has done everything to the T, followed meal plans. One thing I did not agree to was to coach her, which is probably the smartest thing I could ever do. So I remember we were in this kitchen, God, it was 6 months ago, I guess it was, and well, it was November. And she came to me and she said, I think I want to do a show. And we'll get to that decision of hers a little bit later, but I said, that's great, babe, but guess what? I'm not coaching you. She goes, I know you're not. She goes, I don't want you to. So I want to introduce you guys to her. You might have seen her around the gym on my Instagram page and whatnot, so you'll be seeing a lot more of her, because this is not just about me. This is a team effort. So, hello, babe.
Hi. So, as his partner and everything in this, it definitely has its ups and downs. And then as far as prep for myself, I felt like I could never do anything like this. Like, I love pizza and donuts way too much. I could never commit myself to that. I just, you know, he was sitting there eating chicken and rice, and I'm like ordering Papa Murphy's and cookie dough and just throwing it down. And then, I don't know, a lot of things kind of, you know, woke in me during all of this quarantine and everything like that. And so I made a lot of personal decisions for myself. And so I chose to open up my own business. So I've taken on that, and I absolutely loved everything about it. Zero regrets. If anything, I was like questioning myself as to why I didn't do this sooner. And then I just kind of felt like I wanted to do something else for myself. Like, I just wanted to give more of myself out there, do something for myself, do more of a commitment, dedication. And I just said, hey, I think I actually want to do this. And it's brought a lot of self-confidence, a lot of self-empowerment to myself. I've seen a lot of self-growth, emotionally, physically, a lot of different things. And then now I really have a better understanding, more so, of everything that he was going through with all of his preps, like the irritability, because I used to take it personally. And now I'm just like, he's just hungry, because I feel like that too. So, and he's exhausted. So, I mean, just after everything at the end of the day, you're just looking forward to your next meal, and you want to shower and you want to get some sleep so that you can give everything to the next day, because that's what this is all about. Giving yourself 100% dedication and commitment every single day, pushing yourself even after I've worked a 12-hour day on my feet. I'm a hairstylist, so I have a lot of physical demands for my body every day. You know, blow drying people, using my shoulders, standing all day, all of this stuff. But I still now come home and I take my pre-workout meal, get all that going, and then I'm off to the gym for another 2 hours, because this is what I want to do. I'm not going to sit here and, you know, want attention from anybody, like I'm so tired, whine about it. No. I chose to do this for myself, so this is what I'm going to do, and I'm only going to be better for it. I'm only going to push myself past that threshold to something greater. So this has been a really cool experience, and I'm going to do 2 shows in April, the John Sherman as well as the Phil Heath on the 24th of April, and then probably go into a refeed off season for a short period of time. And then I thought about going back to Muscle Beach come October, because that is where he did propose to me. So I kind of thought that'd be like a cool reuniting type of thing, and then do that show as well. So it's been a very amazing journey. Yeah. He's been amazing supporting me all the time, because there are days where my anxiety might get the best of me, like today, to post our little tiff earlier. But we worked through it, because he's like, hey, like, I try to have some self-awareness and it gets a little bit better, but we're not perfect, so we're all gonna have our shit. And it just is what it is. But we've both become a really good support system for each other through this, and I think it's brought us a lot closer in a lot of different dynamics as well. So it's definitely been an amazing thing to go through together. I'm really excited.
I'm super proud of you, babe. And you mentioned something earlier about self-empowerment. And I think in today's culture, we don't have a whole lot of empowerment. We just kind of go by the seat of our pants and do what people tell us to do, which I think is it totally takes your power away from you, totally takes your self-identity away. So in her speaking, we had been talking, and I've been, I'm kind of pushy, I'm not going to lie. I've been trying to get her to go on her own and do her own thing just because I'm so proud of her and I recognize, the business that she's built for herself. But it was like, you go do your own thing. And like she mentioned, it was quarantine that she finally, something happened within her, and it was like this light went off and this blossom just started happening. And I don't see enough of that a lot in today's world. And when just in prep or going through life in general, there's so much possibility that can be accomplished if you just set an intention and follow those intentions with positive actions and reaffirmations, recommitments, and dedication, which is what she's done. She mentioned she goes to work for 9 hours a day. She comes home, eats her pre-workout, doesn't say anything negative. She's like, oh, I had a long day. I'm going to the gym. Not, oh, I don't really want to go. No, she knows she's going. And to see that in a strong female presence and empowerment is one of the sexiest things I think I've ever seen. The divine feminine is just as prevalent as the divine masculine in my way. I think we definitely possess both halves of it. And she has a really healthy balance of both, and I think that's what it takes. So as far as empowering people, I think she sets an amazing example of how you can take fear of, all these fears that we struggle, like fear of failing, fear of not being good enough, fear of missing out, and kind of shifting those into opportunities to grow. So that is kind of welcoming her. We have had a few questions being asked, along this process that my man John is going to moderate and ask us some questions. So let's dive in.
All right, sleep. What's it like having to pee every 45 minutes when you're asleep together?
Whew, man. Do you want me to take this?
It's kind of seeing, you're half asleep and you're like, trying to make your way and you're like, oh crap, he's in this one. So now I got to walk across the house and go to the other bathroom or vice versa. That's always fun. But, it's just a part of the game.
Yeah, there's been a few instances because there's no lights on. It's pitch black. And we can just feel each other's presence crossing.
Like two ships in the night?
We don't say shit. We just walk past each other like, wow. And we both know where we're going and where we're coming from. It's like destination P, destination back to bed. So, yeah, it's part of it too. You'll learn if you go through prep. Peeing's part of it. Mm-hmm. It happens. Sometimes being a guy peeing in the middle of the night can be a little. I raise a toilet seat. Don't.
He does.
I know where she's going with this too. So I have to clean it, baby. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's just apologize.
Okay, in your defense, though, he did explain that he tries to be considerate if I am still asleep. He doesn't want to slam the toilet lid down. So sometimes, he may not lift it, but he does try to clean it afterwards. So you do try.
You sprinkle when you tinkle.
We're going to call that a soft raise, lean over.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, what else you got, brother?
All right, so you both eat two completely different meals, right? So Chris, you're absolutely a carnivore, and if you had your druthers, it's probably all you'd eat outside of that and pizza. And Bri, you're plant-based.
Yes.
So you guys having two completely different diets, what's that like in the same household, knowing that you have to use kind of the same equipment and your timing might be the same, so having to balance that together, what's that like?
Well, I got this one. So when we first started dating, she said, I'm a vegan. And I go, oh shit. I didn't know how this was going to work out, but I kind of learned her ways, and I fully support her reasonings why. She supports my reasonings why. We don't judge each other on it. To allude to your question, John, we respect each other's space as far as in time. It's like in the morning, she's getting ready, she's prepping 3 meals to go to work. I kind of stay out of the way. We have one oven, one stove, oven that doesn't work. But yeah, if I see her in there and there's a bunch of shit going on, I just keep my distance. I'll make my oatmeal. I don't need to get on the stove at that point in time. So we kind of respect each other's space in that sense.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add to that? Because I think I covered that one pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things that are the same. Like, I don't have a lot of extra time, so he's kind of taken over making the rice for us, which I greatly appreciate.
I'm the best rice cooker you ever.
He really is, though. It's very good. And then, we share the egg whites and all of that stuff, so it's kind of just being considerate of one another. If I know he's going to need to use the stove after I am, hey, do you still need me to leave the stove on? Do you want me to leave this out for you? As well as like when we make our protein waffle at night. And so again, we're just kind of like moving around, but I think we know each other's routine well enough now that it's just pretty much an easy flow.
Yeah.
I don't ever see like there's any type of issues with that.
Yeah,
So.
and grocery shopping, we kind of respect each other in a sense. Like if we go grocery shopping, of course, like she mentioned, we both eating liquid eggs, liquid egg whites. What else? Walden Farms. If we come across, like if one of us at the store, we come across the shelf of Walden Farms and it's stocked, it's only stocked for about 5 seconds because that shit is in our cart. So yeah, if you look at our pantry, it looks like we're doomsday is coming. We got mustard stacked 8 deep. We got Walden Farms stacked 20 deep. So yeah, what else do we share? We share. There's a lot of things that we share actually. So eggs, spinach,
The rice.
protein. Yeah, I do some vegan protein. She's kind of got me on this kick just because I can't do the dairy thing. What else do we do? Rice. Yeah, she mentioned rice.
Mm-hmm.
But the cutest thing is, and this is the cutest thing she does, and it's so funny. So if she's at the grocery store, she calls, babe, do you need anything? I go, oh, I need some chicken. I need some top sirloin. She FaceTimes me because she has no idea what she's doing in the meat section. It is the cutest thing. And she'll say, babe, is this the chicken you need? I go, no, honey, that's beef tenderloin. Well, is this the steak you need? No, honey, you're in the fish section. So
It's not that bad.
So it's kind of funny. It's the cutest little thing, though, And we're FaceTime. We're like, no, just put me on FaceTime and point it, and I'll just tell you hot or cold, and she'll like go, shelf by shelf, and sometimes it takes about 10 minutes, and But anyway, it's like fine. It's like a Where's Waldo, but anyway, that's it. What else you got, brother?
All right, so I want to stick with the food side of the fence. Bri, what is it like planning and going through prep on a plant-based diet?
That is a good question.
Honestly, I don't really find any struggles with it. I mean, a lot of the stuff I ate anyways. It's just fit into a more macro, officiated diet that my coach takes care of and everything. But I actually really like all of my food. So there was one issue that I didn't really care for, which was the plant-based chicken strip imitation. I just couldn't do the texture, so I do stick with the boca patties a little bit more so. But other than that, I have found it pretty easy. I mean, I actually really like knowing exactly what I'm eating, when I'm eating it every day. I don't have to think about it. So if anything, that part's probably been the easiest.
Yeah.
So if somebody was out there as a competitor or thinking about competing, but they're on a plant-based diet, you're getting your stuff just from a generic grocery store, right? Like
Yes.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to pick this out. It doesn't take a genius to do it. Anybody that can go to the grocery store normally that's on a plant-based diet, they can find stuff and they can compete still, and they've got the energy and the drive and still getting through. I mean, you're 3 weeks out. You've been in prep for 12 weeks now.
Oh, more than that.
So you found your energy level. You think you've been sustained the whole time. You don't feel any drain. I mean, other than obviously we're competitors, so we're already drained more than we normally would be, but you still feel good.
Yeah. I mean, initiating the carb cycling and everything like that, especially having low carb day for legs, that was, it pushes you to some new limits there because you are you don't feel like you have as much fueled energy as you normally would on a high carb day, but I still get through it just fine. It's just, you know, an adjustment period and things of that nature. But yeah, as far as everything else, I mean, I shop at H-E-B and sometimes Kroger, and I'm able to get every single thing that I need, and so it's pretty simple.
That's great. All right, so some of the housekeeping type stuff, right? I know for me that I'm doing cardio in a hoodie, right? So that's one hoodie going a day that's got to get washed, right? Mm-hmm. Not to mention underwear and sweats and shorts and everything. Who's doing laundry?
We both do our own laundry. So there was a period where she didn't like the way I was doing laundry, so she wanted to take over those I hate to call them chores. Those things we need to do regularly. Anyway, shit was stacking up pretty bad. So I said, I'm going to take this back. She still hates the way I do laundry, but as far as, and she also has to bring her towels and stuff for work home. So I think a good point to hear, John, is talking about, again, respecting each other's space, respecting each other's time, and actual needs. It's like, I don't need to do laundry as much as she does. You know, she has work clothes, she has her workout clothes, she has her work material that she has to do. So I kind of step out of that and say, you know, once she's at work and I'm at home doing coaching stuff and whatnot, I have all the time in the world. So I just kind of let her have priority. Men, take note.
All right, so if there was something that you didn't see coming going through prep together, what is that? The one unexpected thing.
Oh, man.
And it's going to be different for each one of you, so.
Yeah.
What did, because Chris, I was there when you competed the first time. Bri and I sat in the like 8th row back or whatever and watched you compete. And, we both kind of looked at each other and we were like, no fucking way. And it's been great now that she's decided to compete and knowing the transition and how it's going. So, we all saw the prep life and the ups and the downs of it. I mean, the look great, feel like shit,
Yeah.
What was the one thing, knowing all that already, because we've been in the life for a minute now, something else is now different with the two of you going at it together?
That's a good point. I think I don't want to say it was unexpected, but going through this together has made my, I don't want to say, I see her differently every single day, in a positive light. I see, and like I talked about earlier, the empowerment that she has taken on for herself and given herself and received herself is so sexy to watch. And the way she comes at me sometimes is pretty damn scary, but yet it's sexy at the same time. I'm scared shitless sometimes. Like earlier today, she's just, I'm like, you're so sexy, but I'm afraid. But yeah, she's kind of like, what I didn't see was her starting to set boundaries for herself. Healthy boundaries, not just with me, but, just to everybody in her life. And I'm not saying, when I say boundaries, I'm not saying like you have to be an asshole to everybody and do this, but it's like she respects herself enough and empowered herself enough to respect her own boundaries and when to say no and when to stand up for herself instead of just being somebody's, doormat and saying yes all the time. She was always a yes ma'am. Anytime somebody needed something, she was like, yes. And my judgment on that was just because she wanted people to like her. We've kind of talked about this and kind of worked through a lot of this. And, who doesn't want people to like them? So we want to please everybody. And that's a very codependent way of living. It's like, I have to do this so people like me. So to watch her kind of step out of like a codependent behavior and say, I have to do this, in order to be received in the world, instead of just taking ownership of her own self and her own empowerment, that's been amazing to watch.
Yeah, that's definitely been a thing for me. And it's like, even like, I'm a very family oriented person and my family likes to get together a lot. I'm used to seeing them several times a week. I maybe only see them once or twice a week now if I'm lucky, and that's because my focus is going to the gym because I am doing this for me. And, you know, whenever I do go see my parents or anything like that, you know, they're cooking food and they're like, hey, do you want some of this? Like, it still just doesn't register for them that, no, I can't have that. So, but I'm conscious enough, you know, I bring my Tupperware with me. I plan out through the day, but that's all a part of it too. You have to make sure that you get your meals in time efficiently and all of that. And, you know, they are starting to respect and understand it, but that was definitely a thing. And yeah, no is a complete sentence. You don't have to tell anybody why, or you don't have to defend it, justify it in any way, shape, or form. You're doing you, let them do them. And at the end of the day, if they're, you know, truly somebody that's your friend or family and they love and respect you, then it's all good.
Beautiful. Okay. You got anything else?
I think we're good till the next time. I'll be back in town for, I won't see you guys for Sherman's show this go around, but I'll be back for Heath.
Awesome, man. We're looking forward to it. Always welcome to stay at our house too, as you know. So if you guys haven't noticed the four-legged creatures walking around this house, this is kind of our, we just live here. This is their house. This is Findy Lynn and Sadie Lou, and they run shit around here. In case you didn't know, you can just kind of tell. This is Bri's dog before we got together, and that was mine, but now, you know, our dog's awesome. So anyway, now we're going to go work out together, so y'all stay tuned.